Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another field strip video. And the gun that we're going to be field stripping today is kind of a rare one here in the United States. It's the Vektor CP1. Now to me this kind of looks like a SIG P232 or a Walther PPK. However, although the barrel is mounted into the frame, this is a gas delayed system with a piston, very much like an HKP7 or a Walther CCP. Now normally I make these field strip videos when I think a gun is mechanically interesting or does not come apart like other typical firearms. And that's what I encountered here. Many times when it comes to field stripping a firearm, you'll have a button or a lever, something that is pretty easy to figure out. However, after shooting this and reviewing it, I couldn't figure out how to take this apart. And sometimes I try to avoid using the owner's manual because I believe field stripping a firearm should be self-evident. And I was looking at this and going, okay, I can't figure it out. Obviously you do want to drop the magazine, and of course we'll ensure that it is empty. And I was like, okay, well this does look like a Walther PPK, but there's nothing really here in the trigger guard. There's no button. If I pull the slide back, lift up, it doesn't do anything. I really couldn't figure it out. And so then I was looking here at this safety. Now I am not a big fan of this safety that goes through the trigger guard. I can see how that might accidentally get activated when you don't want it to be. However, I did notice that when the gun is on safe, you can push this button back just a little bit further. And lo and behold, that's actually how to take this gun apart. I don't think it's very obvious. So with the gun on fire, I can pull the slide back. I can't lift up on the slide. If I put the gun on safe, same thing. However, if I do take my finger and push that back just a little bit more, guess what? It comes apart. It's that easy. And so here's the frame and the barrel, which of course is mounted into the frame. We do have the recoil spring, which does go around the barrel, just like a HKP7. And here is our piston. And that thing gets absolutely filthy. So that should look very familiar to a P7 or a Walther CCP. So that is how you field strip one of these kind of rare Vektor CP1s. It's a pretty simple gun. It's just not very obvious to take apart. So let me go ahead and clean this thing up and let's put it back together. Alright, so we have this Vektor CP1 all cleaned up and ready to go back together, and trust me, these things can get really, really filthy, especially around the piston and the channel where that piston goes. But I got the frame all cleaned up and looking good. So let's go ahead and put this thing back together. We'll start by taking the recoil spring and putting it over the barrel. Now, when it comes to putting the slide on the frame, it's really important that you're going to have to angle it up, and this piston is going to have to line up with the channel, which is underneath the barrel. Let me see if I can get you a better shot there. You might be able to see it. It's right in there. Everything kind of has to line up. So the slide has to be angled, the piston has to be down, go into that channel, and then you pull it all the way back, and then in order for the slide to go on the frame and push it down, you have to be pushing this safety backwards. So I'm going to try to do this on camera and not cover up too much. I'm going to flip the gun over in this direction because I'm going to use my right index finger to push this safety back. So with the piston down towards the frame, you put it in like this, and if everything lines up, and sometimes, as I said, this can be a little bit tricky, and I think I actually got it, pull it all the way back, push it down, and then let it go forward, and you can release that safety. That can be a little bit tricky, and I'm actually glad I was able to catch it that way on camera because I've done this once or twice in rehearsing for this segment, and I actually messed up both times. It took me a couple of minutes to actually get the slide to go on the frame like I wanted, but it went that time just like I was hoping. Then of course we can insert the magazine, and of course we can function test the firearm. And there is no slide release on this, so if you want to drop the slide, you have to drop the magazine. And there we go. So that is a complete field strip and reassembly of the Vektor CP1 pistol, something that's pretty rare here and not as self-evident as it would be to disassemble and clean. So I hope this video interests some people, and I hope it helps somebody in the future who may own one of these and not know how to take it apart. So, as always, thanks for watching.